ladies and gentlemen. Today we had on Anthony Hoang. I think that's how you say his last name, aka Action Anthony on social. Dude is a total badass. He is a stuntman slash sometimes coordinator as well.
Yep.
Has been on a ton of really cool projects. I mean, should we drop a couple?
Yeah. He's been on friggin' Free Guy. He's been on Don't Look Up. And we later found out in this podcast, Black Panther 2.
Yep. We also randomly found out at the end that dude, like the amount of things you need to know how to do to be a stuntman is crazy. He explains how he got into it, kind of how he started out, it sounds like it takes a really long time to get into. You have to be just like very, at least intermediate to adeptly skilled at a large variety of things.
Yeah. This guy's done swords. He can do fighting, guns. He can drive.
Rigging, set people on fire, set himself on fire. You know what I mean?
This guy does everything. So, and it was a really entertaining podcast. And then at the end, I kind of derail things a bit. So, that's definitely on me. But if you enjoy, crazy little talks, that's at the very last half hour of this podcast. So.
Yep. The guy's a magician, so it's just like, It was really cool. Learned a ton of stuff. Learned a lot about a bunch of random niche things. Clowning, you know what I mean? So you can see what that's about. Yeah.
This episode was a ton of fun. I had a blast on this one. So, without further ado, enjoy. So, we got Action Anthony on the podcast, dude. Thank you for coming down.
It's going to make for a great episode title.
Yeah.
Say that.
100%.
Sounds super exciting.
That is your Instagram handle is the name of the episode.
I get a little chuckle out of it because, when you're on set and you go, and Action Anthony, that's my IG handle.
Well, dude, it was so funny because we were on set and, I was resonating with a lot of people and we were on set for I think a rehearsal day, right? Before
a pre-viz rehearsal day, yeah.
Yeah, and it was funny because we just I thought we just kind of hit it off. And when you found
it helps out because when I walked in, the first thing you did was bust my balls. I didn't even know who you were. I like him.
Wait, remind me, what did I say?
It was something about the gloves or something. You take your pick. It's a boxing gym or something like that. And I was yeah, you're right. There's 50 pairs of gloves on the wall.
Yeah. that sounds like me, Just it's like having fun with a pinch of a little bit of assholishness, But
keep it real, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
But what was so interesting too is that you were actually interested in the podcast. A lot of people when they hear about a podcast, they're like, maybe,
Really?
Yeah. Well, I won't name names, but I asked someone else. And he was,
I think I have an idea.
Yeah, and I was like, would you ever, be interested? And he reluctantly was like, yeah, sure, man. If you want, if that's what you want. I was like, oh, bro, don't say yes and you mean a no. It's okay.
That weird passive aggressive.
Yeah, and he was. And the thing is, he's a totally awesome, amazing dude. And so, I just knew that he just didn't want to do it, and he was just being nice because that's who he is. He's just a nice guy.
Just didn't want to say no.
Yeah, exactly. But dude, you have done so many things, and I was looking through your IMDb. You're like, I have.
How do you know?
It's like, well,
IMDb,
actually,
bro. The internet.
We literally have a report.
Yeah,
it's like
we could go through the stats right now. But so you've been on set for some absolutely huge projects. And my camera went out, so I'm going to.
Yeah, let's cut.
Yeah, so no, we're good.
You sure?
No, we're good. I think I got it going again. I'm just gonna probably go ahead and turn it over.
Hey,
but we'll start on just so you did Free Guy.
Yeah.
You did Don't Look Up. You've done all these crazy movies.
Hey, don't stop. Keep going.
Oh,
I'm joking. I saw that commercial actually.
The Super Bowl commercial?
Yeah, they just tackling.
Yeah.
So did he actually tackle you? By the way,
yeah, I think I was the only one in the commercial who actually got tackled.
Really? I was gonna say the other woman was wearing a crutch. You know what I mean? She was crutching around.
Everyone else got a wire assist, but they made me do it for real. And the assistant stunt coordinator, he was like, dude, I don't care how hard he hits you, just get back up. Even if he breaks a rib, just get back up. You know how much they're paying you for this?
Yeah, dude, it's a Super Bowl commercial, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
it was a decent amount. I'm like, I made my riches on mayo,
yeah, exactly. It's so funny because it was that of all commercials too. It was like that. But so how did you get started? Well, first of all, you were doing a full-time stuntman full-time.
That's it. Yeah, that's my 9 to 5. Well, it's not 9 to 5. It's usually 12 hours. Yeah, that's my day job.
So how often do you have gigs? You know what I mean? Because you said you had the week off, which I'm sure is really nice. Yeah,
that's a hard question to answer. Sometimes if you work once a week, you're doing pretty good. Even like twice a month, you're doing decent. But like I tend to work like 2 or 3 days a week.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's hard. Sometimes like I'll be on a job for like 5 weeks straight and just every day, you know?
Yeah.
So it all depends. Yeah.
But like, so like, how did you, that's so interesting though, that like, I know I would imagine it's like you said, right? Like 12-hour days. Cause it's just like when they want to stop filming, right? Like, even on set the other day, I was like an extra and we're sitting there.
Oh, you were there for that?
Yeah. And, you know,
Yeah, I
of
dragged
course,
him into
like,
it. By the way, there was no memory card in my camera. I was like, why is it not filming?
oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Step one.
Yeah, step one, put a memory card in the camera, Randy.
That's
You want
like
to redo everything? Let's
is
do the
it
intro.
plugged
Yeah,
in?
do the whole thing over again.
Yeah, run it back. But
yeah, dude, it was so funny because the director hit me up and he was like, "Hey, do you have any friends that you could use for like extras as like to play your goons or whatever?" And he's already played my goon in a music video.
yeah.
Oh, you got to keep the theme
I'm just
going
a
now.
goon now, I guess. Like,
Yeah, so he's the gooniest.
Only
and-
Randy's goon. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's right. and so it was him, my buddy Ryan, who did some BTS for me,
Oh,
and then
sick.
my other buddy Samson, who also did BTS. I was like, "Hey, you guys like helped out. You want to just like be in the movie with me?" And so they all showed up. But it was funny. Like a lot of times, like you're just on set for seemingly a lot longer than you initially think.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what that's like in the stunt world because same thing, right?
Yeah, it depends on the day. Sometimes, like if it's just, if you're doing second unit where it's just all stunts, you're working the entire day. It's nonstop. But then there's other days where you're just a fraction of the puzzle, and it's just like there'd be like 7 setups, and you're the last scene.
Oh,
So
wow,
you're sitting around
okay.
all day. Yeah, like kind of what you're saying, sitting around, and then you're like, all right, come on, just shoot me out so I can fall and die and go home.
yeah. So like, how do you get into this? You know what I mean? Like, it seems like such a like. I'm just thinking like, oh, I want to get into stunt work. Like, how do you even like, start? Or what was your first gig? I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
that's well, I'm trying to. There's the broad answer, and then there's my answer, like how I personally did it. But like getting the stunts is tough. Usually, like a lot of people come from like martial arts, some athletic background, like they were professional, like soccer player, basketball player, former X Games Olympians, yet former military. Did I say circus? I think so. Yeah, I said circus probably. Yeah, it's just like all these elite level of competitors.
Yeah,
they kind of find themselves in
sense.
there. Yeah. So I kind of fell into that background where I was like, I came from martial arts. I competed forever. And then I was a clown with Ringling Brothers in Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Get the fuck out of here! Really? How many years did you do that?
It was like 1.5, 2 years. And then I was like the PR clown for New England.
PR clown.
like
Was
the
that-
advanced guy, if the circus was coming into town like in 3 weeks, they would send me out ahead of time to like do like the radio stuff, TV spots, interviews and stuff like that to be like, hey, we're coming to town, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Was that tough during the time when all those clown videos were coming out? Remember when It came out?
Oh, yeah.
And there was just like a million videos of like clowns like
Just in
being
the middle of the
creepy as
road.
shit.
This killer clowns from outer space. Yeah,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that killer for clowns.
And
Yeah,
you're out here like, hey man, us clowns, we're getting a bad rap.
I mean, yeah.
I think what it is was it's the old school makeup where it's like It, he had like a white face, like this goofy ass, like big, exaggerated, like look.
Yeah.
Like more modern clowns, like I don't know, I'd say from like 2000, early 2000s to now. It's you just kind of highlight your face a little bit. It's not like full white face. Like I'll have like a colored lip and maybe some like
Yeah, man,
red
don't be
cheeks.
clownish, okay? We got a
Yeah.
certified clown.
Yeah, you're right.
okay?
Look at me. I'm showing my prejudice here.
Yeah. He was going honk before he showed up.
Don't
Dude.
make
What
me
an
run you
asshole.
over with my car.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna lie.
16 of us
though.
are piled in there.
We'll come out and beat the shit out of you.
Wait, so what martial art, by the way? I don't know. I was real quick.
All of them.
Literally all of them.
No.
Like, every martial art.
I started with Tong Sudo. I think like that's a well-known one in Connecticut for some reason. Because I think
So
one of like
random.
the headmasters like lives here and like he expanded all the schools. But I did Tong Sudo. Now I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so a lot
Ooh.
of combat cuddling.
Me too, actually, dude.
Oh,
There's a
that's
bunch of gyms
mad
around
funny.
here.
What? We should
Yeah.
slap hands, put some
For
PJs
sure.
on, let's go.
Yeah, honestly, I'd definitely be down.
That's wicked funny. So you started
Dude,
off.
all right. So yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. I feel like everybody I know that does stunts is like all the guys at Trick Dynamics that just do tricking and
Wait,
they're
you
like
go there?
crazy. Well, we
We
know
have
a bunch
friend
of.
there.
I've been trying to
Ooh.
go for a really long time. Kevin Grassy.
Oh yeah, I just saw him this past weekend at a house
Dude,
party.
everybody, I swear to God, every stunt
Everyone
person knows
knows.
everybody.
That's so funny.
Well, Kevin's badass, man. He's
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
he's crazy.
He's insane.
it's like gravity doesn't affect him.
Yeah, it's so funny because we met him in college back in like
Oh, no
early.
kidding.
Yeah, we were all part of the same like friend group, and then like we found out that he did this tricking thing like way later because we knew him as like the super smart, charismatic physics guy.
Yeah.
And then I saw him do flips and I was like, what? You
Dude,
do that?
And he's like crazy because I don't know, he's like super tall and lanky, but he weighs like 150 pounds. So he's like chucking himself in the air, doing all this shit.
He's like IKEA furniture.
Actually, dude,
That's a funny way to put it.
He was like doing it for a while too, with like, not to just go on a Kevin tangent, but he was doing it with like one hamstring for like a while because he had fucked one of his hamstrings up. Yeah.
What? Yeah.
And I mean, dude, he fixed it and now he's like doing even better. And
Which you guys got to come by the gym and
dude, he's been trying to get me to go there for so long. I need to just do it.
Yeah.
One of these Sundays, I think he said Sundays.
There's Sundays open gym. I usually try to go Thursdays during the day if you guys are ever around.
Thursdays?
Okay.
Yeah, like
all
at
right.
noon.
Good to know.
Yeah, there's like nobody there. You could like throw your stuff and land on your neck and stuff. Everything's made of foam there, so it's
Okay.
great.
I was like, I don't know about that.
Okay, cool. Because like I'm trying to backflip. I've done it off of walls and stuff, but I've never just like, I don't have the balls to just standing backflip.
Oh, I think if you go there, you'll get in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, they have an airbag and stuff, and like, dude, there's they have like pits and stuff like that you can throw yourself into, and like the coaches are just, they'll fix you.
Yeah,
I'm
because
going, dude. That's
Chris,
it.
that guy Chris, who's Hydrate on Instagram, who was also
Oh
in,
yeah,
who
Dude,
was in
he's
that
also
production.
a total badass.
Chris
Yeah.
Matthews.
Yes, dude,
Yeah.
Chris Matthews. He's also an instructor, I think, over there too,
Yep.
right? Yeah, and this is another guy who's just like, I'm like, whoa, like, how do you even do that kind of shit? But hold up, back to you. So so the martial arts stuff, and that's kind of the clown stuff.
Yeah.
When did you like get sort of into the acting space?
Oh, okay. Let's rewind a little bit. So I actually started acting like way back. I started off as an actor before I even got into like the circus and all that.
Oh wow, okay.
It was because I was a failed actor I joined the circus. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, there was a posting on backstage.com, and I was like, they were looking for people to audition for clown college, and I was like, oh, let me give this a shot, see what happens.
Clown college?
Yeah, that's a thing. It's a thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Statistically, it's harder to get into clown college than it is to Harvard because they accept so very few people.
I could
And
see it. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I forgot what the statistics were, but like thousands of people apply, and like they only accept maybe less than 100.
Wow.
And then from those 100, like maybe 5 to 10 people are offered actual jobs on the show. So
Oh shit!
yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Competitive, huh?
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was crazy. So I kind of wandered into Madison Square Garden, not knowing what I was doing because that's where they had the auditions, and I got in somehow.
That was
Like,
on Backstage.
Yeah.
That's so funny that's
Wow.
on Backstage. Like,
Yeah.
Well, at the time, they were saying, I think it was a PR angle, but they were like, America's in a shortage of clowns right now, and so we're auditioning for clown college. I was like, all right, makes sense.
Shit, that's so funny.
But yeah, I got in and I got a contract, and then I got all these like friend requests from like people who study clowning from all over the country, and they're like, "Who are you? What's your clowning background? You a theatrical clown or a circus clown? Where did you train?" I was like, I don't know. I just wandered in and I got it. Sorry, people take it like serious. They studied for like 6 or 7 years, like
that's
at
so funny.
conservatories.
Did you get like a clown snob like come up to you
Yeah.
and like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
you're
Oh.
not a fucking clown.
You're not a
I've
true
been-
clown. Yeah,
I've been
like,
clowning for years.
dude, I have no idea what I didn't know how to do makeup. Like I could kind of barely juggle. That was about it.
This is like a whole, dude. I'm like, you're like blowing my mind right now. Of like this, like opening my mind up to a whole world of clowning. I didn't even,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
This is crazy. Like I think it's almost like the world of puppeteering.
Dude,
Like,
yeah.
Like
kinda.
UConn has like the best puppeteering program in the country,
What?
and it's just like at UConn.
And dude, there's like a small theater and like that, but like some of the stuff that these guys do is actually
crazy.
nuts. Like they have it's like a puppeteering museum and you can go in and see some of their projects.
What?
They'll like build the whole stage and everything and like it's like very intricate and like thematic and stuff. It's actually really cool.
That's where the elite go.
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things. I was like, what the fuck?
It's
Like,
another-
how do you even know about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just and so it's like another one of those things where it's like a whole world and realm of people that like you just haven't even thought about was a whole thing until someone tells you.
Yeah, it totally is.
So you're in clown college.
Yep. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Where was I? Yeah. I was
So you were like, oh, I went to clown school because I was a failed actor and I was
Yeah.
looking for stuff on Backstage and I found clowning.
Oh yeah. So when I was in when I was touring with the circus, where was it? It was toward the end of my contract, and we were out like in LA, and we had some former clowns from the show come and visit, and I was talking to one of them, Jimmy Graham. I was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about leaving the show. Like, what do I do with my life now?" And he's like, "Well, you can either become a birthday party clown or a stunt man." I was like, "Oh, what?" I was like, "Why stunt man?" He's like, "Well, think about it. You fall on concrete, do these pratfalls. You know how to drive the clown car. You work around like dangerous animals, high wire stuff. You rig." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." And then so when I left, I kind of like focused on just getting in stunts.
Interesting.
Dude, that's pretty cool. I mean, it kind of does make a lot of sense though, because all those circus performers are like very athletic and have
acrobatic,
to do
aerial aware and everything,
high risk stuff, right? Like you said, like with animals and stuff, like, and that's I'm sure listed under stunt work, right?
Would it
be considered stunt work as working?
Yeah, I mean, but you got to think about like guys on the trapeze and like that, or like on teeter boards, they get launched off. So I got to like pick all those guys' brains about like how to like manipulate your body in the air. So like that's how I kind of learned.
That's nuts, dude. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Wait, so you said you were in the circus and you said you were in a few years. Like, how was being in the circus? Like,
oh, dude, it was cool. I mean, I was in it when I was like 19, 20.
Okay.
So traveling the world and just seeing the back roads of America, because like we traveled by train. We lived on a train. It was a 1 mile long train.
Really? Yeah. 1 mile long train.
That's how we got around. Yeah.
That's a real number. A 1 mile long train.
At least a mile. Yeah.
That seems so like 1800s. You know what I mean? Like like a circus on a train.
Well, that's why it's kind of like watching like like old school Americana, because you're sitting there and you're like going through people's backyards, like you're seeing like just open greenery, like untouched America, and this is how they used to live in the 1800s. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is super cool.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Damn. So then you do that. And then you get into stunt work.
So interesting.
But like, was it an easy transition to just like, you're just starting in stunts, or did you have to like supplement it with a side job in order to to fuel the stunt work?
No, it wasn't like I decided to get in stunts and I was like, oh yeah, now I'm a working professional. No.
Yeah.
The stunt world is very, not in a bad way. It's very closed off, and for good reason, because when I was an actor, like you would go to these classes and they would go, oh yeah, go take a Groupon class on archery, or like go learn Krav Maga for a month, do the trial course, and you put it on your resume because you have experience doing it. And with stunt people, you can't get away with that. If you say you're good at Krav Maga, you better have a black belt in it. If you say you can do archery, be able to hit a bullseye from like half a football field away.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when you say it, you got to be able to do it because people's lives are at risk. So just because you say you can do it doesn't mean people are going to necessarily like go, all right, I'm going to hire you for that job because you say you can do it. So a lot of it relies on your demo reel and word of mouth. So it takes a while to build your reputation, like when you get people who are like, they say, oh, I can drive, but it's like, if you can drive, you got to be able to know how to drive, automatic, standard, 3 on a tree. You got to know how to drift. You got to know how to slide a car, 7 ways into Sunday.
Whoa.
So like when you
do
put
all that stuff?
I can do most of it. I can't drift.
Okay. You said drift, and I was like, that sounds crazy.
No, that's next on the list, though. I want to learn.
Makes a lot of sense, though, right? Like you have to kind of like it is like high risk, right? Like, and just for yourself, if they're gonna be like, all right, cool, can you jump off this building? It's like, you kind of gotta know, even like knowing how to fall. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, which is basic, but it's like.
Yeah,
some people just don't.
Sense.
What kind of stuff like that? When people say they can do parkour, like, a lot of people do intro classes and they're like, oh yeah, I can jump over a couple boxes and vault, do like, 3 vaults. But it's like when you get to a set and you got to do it like 30 feet up in the air, you can't back down at that point, the coordinator who hired you is going to expect you to be able to do it. So you can't just be like, oh, actually, that was an intro class. I'm not really comfortable. Now you're wasting his time. You're wasting production. Like they can't replace you on the day,
Yeah.
So it definitely takes I want to say at least 5 years to build traction before people actually trust you and go, all right, I'm gonna put you in an easy spot. So where you're fighting the main actor and you get like 2 punches to the face and you go down. Just because they want to know you're not gonna hurt the actor, you're not gonna do anything stupid, you're not gonna fall and hit your head on like the curb and die.
Yeah, because then I would imagine like somebody gets hurt and then it's like a whole thing on set and it's like, all right, well now we got to pause because this guy's like. Dying over here, so
or even like if you're not good at stunt fighting, and you fucking actually deck someone, now you got a makeup issue.
Oh, dude,
alongside like who knows?
Maybe like a black eye.
I mean,
can you imagine punching Tom Cruise? Like you're done. You're done.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to punch Tom Cruise. Whoops.
As talented as you are.
Top Gun 2, everybody.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm actually looking forward to that too.
Dude, my dad is like, I tell him this, I'm just going to briefly use it. My dad's like obsessed. My dad literally would watch Top Gun every single night for like at least 4 or 5 years. And he would skip the part. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, no.
It's out already?
No, the first one.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, never mind. I was going to tell you something that would spoil it. But
he skips one part that is that's more sad.
It's
every
sad.
Time.
But anyway, I digress. I was going to ask you something about Oh yeah, do you have like a specialty or like do stunt people like stuntmen like specialize? Like what's your thing? You know what I mean? Like
yeah. So that's a good question because like the bread and butter stunts is fighting and falling. That's how you make bulk of your money. But you can specialize in like stuff like wire work, just being comfortable in wires. You can be a rigger where you set people up and do the actual rigging for the wires. Drivers, obviously, fire, you got high fall specialists, you got people who just crash cars. That's all they do.
Wow.
I kind of checked the box on a little bit of all of them. I haven't really done any crashes, but I have my seasons. So there's seasons where I do nothing but driving, and then like my last season, I did a lot of fire where I prepped a lot of people to be on fire. Like on Free Guy, that's how I was on there. The guy that was on fire running around. Ryan Reynolds puts him out.
Oh, yeah.
I prepped and lit him up and stuff.
You lit that guy on fire?
Yeah.
Dude, that's
and then usually I'm the guy on fire too. But to be on fire is a little more difficult because if you're on fire, you're usually doubling somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look like anybody, so.
Yeah, it's like, I was gonna say like, so you never done like double work at all? Or?
I do double. It's just far and few.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's kind of crazy though to think about like when you say you do whole seasons as one thing, is that twofold? Like you get hired for it and it's a long project, so that's how you spend it, or is it like I'm actually going to like it's an intentional? I'm going to focus on this for a certain period of time to build my repertoire in it.
It's a little bit of both. It's kind of like when you manifest it and just throw it out and out there, and it keeps coming at you.
Okay,
so there will be seasons where I just focus, like I'll hit the track and like get my reps in, and then I'll keep getting calls for car stuff. So last season just happened to be a lot of fire stuff. The one before that was a lot of wire work.
How do you like the wire work, man? Because that seems like it's so important for a lot of stuff these days.
Depends. Wait, on the I don't get to fly too much because I'm a big boy. But you do get messed up, like not like crazy, but you'll get like regular, like because the harness is cut into you.
Yeah,
you get bruises
like
and cuts
and rashes and stuff. Maybe,
yeah. Especially being in them all day and they're yanking you over.
Because some of those yanks are like pretty violent. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, some of them aren't just hand pulls, like people pulling. Sometimes it's on a pneumatic ratchet.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like and just yanks you across the room.
Wow.
But when I was doing wires, I was more like helping set up and rig and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that gets a little nerve wracking because when you're in charge of somebody else's life, it's like, oh man, like if I mess up, like when I'm performing, I'm like that was on me. But like if somebody's riding the wire that I set up, I got to be more conscious and be like, well, all right, let's take our time here and make sure everything's safe. Gotta do all the calculations, make sure all the loads and forces are in play.
I was gonna say, like, is there like certifications you have to go through, etc., for wire work? Or
so the crazy thing is like there's no certifications for any of the stuff we do. Like
nuts.
people hand out certificates, but they don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy to think about.
For like wire, I don't know, because that seems like such a high risk. Even like setting people on fire, to be honest.
All that, yeah, honestly. Well, like, over in the UK and Australia, they have the registry, so you have to be good. Well, you have to be a master in 6 different disciplines. So it's like you gotta be good at horseback. Whatever, you can check them off. But everyone has to have a black belt in something. Fire, and you have to go through a registry and be certified for all that. Over in the US, we don't have that for some reason.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that is kind of weird,
yeah.
especially like especially for setting someone on fire.
Dude,
you would think that like someone, yeah. I mean, it's funny because like in this,
it's kind of funny actually.
even in this movie that I just did, I had to do something as simple as like fall after getting hit, right? And I didn't even think about like using knee pads, but David was there and he's like, oh no, we'll get you knee pads. And me, stupid, I'm like, oh, but aren't they going to show? And he's like, no, they're like under your pants. And I had this image of like Tony Hawk's knee pads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, just when you said it now, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, right. Like it's just, you don't think that there's all these things that are kind of hidden. And I got to look up his name. Oh, Donnie. Do you know Donnie?
Yeah, he took my place.
Oh, is he the guy? Okay, so he had to do this like flip thing, and he landed on his back like a bunch of times, and I'm like, oh my god,
he's gotta kill himself.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like he had one of those spine protector things, but it's still just crazy to think that like a repetition after repetition after repetition that like you got to keep doing that.
But even if you have the pads on, if you don't know how to use them, you can still wreck yourself pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, even with the knee pads, it was great with the knee pads because I did it like one take without the knee pads, and I was like,
we did the music video thing where I was also a goon, and I had to fall like sort of. And I just fell and I smashed mine. It was like the first thing. I hit my knee against like a table or like a bench or something, and I was like, "Fuck!" And I knew, I was like, "Oh man, I gotta do this."
We didn't even actually use his fall. Like his fall wasn't. Well, his fall wasn't even
happening
a part
off screen.
Of it. Yeah. His fall. It's actually like so in the music video. I shoot him in the head, which is pretty cool because it was mad funny. He didn't even know it was going to happen until he was on set. And
wait, was this the music video you showed me? The rock band?
No. This is for my cousin Joe Ego is a different thing. I didn't film that one. I was just in that one as an actor.
You have to show me that after. That's awesome.
Dude, we totally should because you'll see how funny it is because the gun's just pointed at him. It fires. And then it cuts to black. Like you don't even see him fall. You don't see a reaction. Like he just like so him falling was a complete just like waste of his knees.
And so also like the whole scene was like, oh, he puts this bag of drugs on the table and he opens it up and it's flour and he's like, oh, it's flour and he's pissed and shoots me, right? I first of all was just supposed to be like an extra, just not doing anything, just in the background. So I have no idea what's going on. And they're just like, all right, action. And I'm like, okay. And he opens it up and I'm like, oh, it's flour. But I thought it was just like, it's like a prop, right? To just fill the bag, like make it look like it's full. Yeah. Not that he was getting played and he was going to shoot me. So he does this, looks at me and then shoots me in the head. And I was like, oh, what's going on? They're like, oh, you're supposed to fall. And then also they were like, oh, I had to say a line. They were like, oh, you're supposed to say, I'm like, dude, I have no idea what's going on.
So to the defense of that whole production, what had happened is one of the guys that was supposed to be him had like an emergency and he couldn't make the shoot. And so when Adam got there, I was like, hey, Adam, you're going to play my like direct goon. You're not just going to be like a background guy anymore. You have a line, like you have like all this stuff. And he's like, oh man, all right. I probably would have gotten a haircut before I did this.
Yeah, dude, I look like shit. I was like kind of hungover. And then there was like, you told me one of the lines and then there's like 3 other lines that you're like, oh, you're supposed to say. I'm like, dude, you want to just tell me this?
Yeah, I was like, fuck, dude. I was so in my own head. I totally forgot like you didn't know like what was going on.
Yeah.
It's
really
awesome.
funny.
You're stepping it up and saving it again.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like you're always stepping in for an emergency character.
Oh, you need a goon? I'm your guy.
I'm your guy, man. I got that long sleeve black shirt on deck.
Yeah, dude. Every single fucking scene.
Start a hotline. Goons are us.
Yeah, exactly.
Break the bell. Break the glass. Pull the lever.
Yeah, he's gonna call numbers.
Yeah. He's gonna start a goon college pretty soon.
Yeah, exactly.
So how does someone who is interested in stunt work, who has like 0 experience, pursue getting into stunts?
Don't do it.
Don't.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I try to tell people, if that's the first thing I tell people, just don't go after it. It's such a long process, and like the amount of work you put in for the return, it seems stupid sometimes because you're you're constantly training. But if you're still listening, I'll tell you the secrets.
Yes.
There's really no secret. It's just a ton of hard work. Like I said, bread and butter of stunts are fighting and falling. So definitely learn a martial art. Doesn't matter what it is. Usually I try to I'll gauge the trend. So for a while it was like, there's a bunch of boxing movies coming out. So I was like, go take boxing. And then there was like a lot of martial arts stuff. Like, when The Matrix was happening, I was like, go learn Kung Fu, go learn Taekwondo, like for the flashy kicks. But now lately it's been like stuff like Jack Reacher, John Wick. It's more like close quarter, gun fu stuff. So go to the range, learn how to hold a gun, learn how to shoot and move around, learn jujitsu, judo.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy you're talking to.
That's what's hot right now.
I am the guy with no experience. I know it's going to take a while.
Yeah, it does. And then, as goofy as it sounds, learn gymnastics. Go learn the intro classes. Know how to do cartwheel rolls. Because half the time you get flung in the air, you just got to know how to adjust your body so you can land
like
correctly.
how to fall.
Yeah. Because honestly, you do need to learn a few different ways to fall. At least 7 or maybe a dozen different ways to fall. Because sometimes you'll come in and it's like, all right, I'm getting shot, and the director wants you to do a front fall, but then they're like, we don't want to see your face. So how do you do that? You got to go more sideways, or they might want you to do
interesting
some kind of flip in the air and then land. So
wow.
Yeah. So it's stunts is kind of weird because you can be an expert at something like, say, like rappelling. You could be a great repeller, and you fast rope all the time or whatever. But then you get on a set, it depends on the context, but you get thrown curveballs. Like hey, this is a comedy. We want you to repel while shooting this gun and eating a jelly donut at the same time. How are you going to do that? You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like in the case
specific.
of like something as ridiculous as Free Guy, where there's just like a million things going on, and they're just tossing everything at you.
Yep.
Yeah, because you need a hand to like.
Not always. No,
I guess that's true. If you get a.
If you got a gree or there's ways to lock it off and everything. Like you can do it with the figure eight and lock it off, and maybe use your feet or something.
Wow,
So
see,
interesting,
already
dude.
creative,
There's so
already
many
thinking of a
things.
solution.
You got to troubleshoot, man. Or have your rigging team design something so it looks like you're repelling.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's crazy to think about. So then the bread and butter stuff seems to be, like you said, like fighting and falling.
Yep.
And that's
how you get in first. And then as time goes on, you build trust. That's when coordinators like, can you drive? I just want you to drive in a straight line, slide the car and hit the mark and don't kill anybody. So you get little stuff like that. And then they're like, all right, you can do that. All right, next job. All right, now we want you to take, this cop car is going to come across this intersection. We want you to slide 90 and then chase them. It's called a skid turn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you get little bits of responsibility and trust as you go along.
So that's
cool. You just
of,
have to be like a total badass and like that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly.
And it's like being the total badass just takes like years of time.
Yeah, I'm like thinking like, there's like definitely years worth of shit that I feel like I would have to do, but I shoot guns all the time. Like I used to ride horses all the time.
You're able to be a stunt guy.
I fight,
Yeah.
you know. I know
Now you're in jujitsu and doing all that stuff.
But now is actually a good time to get into stunts if you really wanted to, because there's so much content being put out.
It's interesting.
With all the streaming
It's kinda
services and the
Yeah.
studios, even the indie stuff like YouTube stuff is like paying like full SAG rate now, you know? Like,
yeah, that's kind of nuts actually. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
YouTube of all things, but
yeah.
makes sense. It's
Well,
like
they started Cobra Kai.
TV network.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's true. Yeah.
that show's fantastic, to
That's
be
a great show.
honest.
And
like,
when it was on YouTube were like some of the best seasons too.
yeah, it's
Like
true.
season
The
like
earlier
1
ones.
through 3 or whatever. Or 1 through 2.
I thought it didn't get traction on YouTube, and then they sold it to Netflix and it blew up, right?
I think that's
so.
probably what happened for sure. I just remember hearing about it when it was in season 2, I think.
Yeah.
And I think, did Netflix buy it after that? This
They
would
just
be a
have so
great
much,
time.
like,
Jamie, could you look that up?
Yeah.
You know?
They have such a higher volume of watchers on Netflix, I feel like, than YouTube TV.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because they
for
were
sure.
it was a YouTube Pro or YouTube Red or whatever.
Yeah,
it's, like, it's
and-
another subscription you got to pay for,
Dude.
It's like,
Dude, and that's like the way the world's going too. Is like,
Yeah.
how many subscriptions can we get people to buy?
Yeah.
And like, you already know that it's going to do a full circle, or it's going to be like a cable service but for internet, and it's going to offer like you get Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, friggin' Disney Plus, all for one total of
Yeah.
$99 a month. You know,
It's going to be like
drives me nuts.
cable all over again.
yeah. What's like, what do you think is something that like you're sort of aiming towards now? Like
Ooh.
stuff that you're like you would love to do now that you've like, because to me, dude, when I see your resume, I'm like, holy shit, this guy is doing like really cool,
it's really
awesome
dope.
big things.
It's got a lot of bills to pay. So I got
Yeah.
pay for those shows.
Yeah.
Pay out. Well, actually, you know what? Everyone thinks you make a lot of money on the bigger shows like Free Guy or like any of the Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
Untrue.
Really?
Because so many people are playing in those. Like you think about it, you got like 300 stunt guys, like an Avengers movie. You got 300 stunt guys. You got a cast of like 50, 60 people.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
All lead actors. You're sharing the residual pool with all of them. So you're not getting that much money.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
probably more so like you said, like the Super Bowl commercial, stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
or
You
if
know
you get
what
on
I
a horror, like a Paranormal Activity, where it's maybe like one stunt person and you're sharing it with like 4 actors and it does really well, that's where the money is.
Because the money's in the residuals, right?
Yeah,
At least that's what I've heard.
For talent, yeah.
For talent,
Unless
okay.
you're a producer and you're acting and stuff too. But like,
Okay.
yeah, on the front end, unless you have like a name, you're not going to get a ton of money on the front end. It's all on the back end stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, because I know this.
It makes a lot of sense though.
I know this actor who is in The Joker,
Ooh.
and he was a saxophone player, and the scene wasn't even really in the movie. It was like a breeze by scene. Like it was like he's in it for 2 seconds.
Yep.
And he originally in his contract he had a line. The line got cut, so it's just him playing the sax, right? And he made something like 15 or 20 grand off the residuals of that, which is insane because. I mean, granted, the movie did like $1 billion worldwide or something, which is, I think, probably how he got that much. But just to think that like that's how much the residual paid for a movie like that is crazy. So then like, sorry. So we should go back to like where you were saying like stuff that you were looking forward to, and you're saying like the big stuff doesn't pay as much, and like the more like specialized stuff where there's not as many stunt guys is kind of like the money maker. Yeah. But as far as where you see yourself, or like where you want to be, like something you like would love to do, where is that at?
5-year goal is like I want to be, probably even a little longer than that, probably within the 10-year goal. I want to be running the shows, be the stunt coordinator.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm quite there yet. You know, I've cover coordinated for people, and you know, I've run small things, but that doesn't really count. I think what I want now is like to be on a full run of a show, like of a movie. You know, from start to finish for 6-9 months, whatever it could be. You know, like you know, especially if one that takes you to a different location, like Hungary or something. Like I had a bunch of friends who did Terminator. They were out there for like 9 months.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Or just even somewhere in the United States that's not here, you know? Like,
right.
And just be part of the process of creating something from start to finish, because then you're part of the previs. You get some say of like, you know, like especially like a superhero thing, like you get the rules of like what this hero can do, but then it's kind of up to your job, like how do they use these powers? Like what else can they do?
That's actually really cool.
So then you have to dive into the comics and, you know, go through all that and be like, oh, like what is it like I forgot, the Hulk had psychic powers or something in one of the comics. So like you could play on that, but you don't have to touch on it. Like, you know, it's something you can bring to the table to the team and go, hey, you know, we can use these powers.
So what is like
I didn't even realize that the stunt like had that much influence on the story and like the like action part of it. Well, I mean, it makes sense, but I just figured a lot of that would be written, not like decided in the.
Not always. Sometimes you get like you'll get a big script for, say, for example, like the new Batman. Like it could just be like dialogue, and then it just says a fight happens.
Wow.
It's up to the stunt team.
All right, stunt guys figure it out.
Yeah,
wow.
That's why we had the rehearsal in previous days, kind of like what we did for the movie where we met.
Oh yeah, that's true. It was. Yeah. It was just like a fight happens.
Yeah, but so we were told when we came into that fight that everyone in there was a boxer. So those were the rules we were working with. And then when, as we went along, the director, Ratish, you know, he's watching us. He's like, no, I want them to do the crazy stuff, like the flips and falls. And then David's like, this is a Marvel movie. like this is in boxing. We're throwing kicks now. Like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. So like, what's the difference between like a stunt coordinator or like a choreographer? Is there a difference there? Or is it just like a
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. So there's different levels in the head honcho departments of the stunt department. So, you know, stunt coordinator is the overall head honcho.
Manages a choreographer would?
Yeah, so then the fight choreographer will work usually under the fight coordinator.
Okay.
So it's kind of like if you look at like a department store, you know, you got like Sears, then you got electronics, home goods, you got clothing. That's what we're kind of doing. So like, you know, you have the head honcho stunt coordinator, then you can have like a fight coordinator, rigging coordinator, there'll be a fire coordinator. They solely just work on those things.
So the stunt coordinator basically manages the entire show stunt wise. Like anything that's considered a stunt like would fall under.
Yep, and he's going to all the meetings, but you know he does have a say. So he'll come to the fight practices and rehearsals and go, "Oh no. You know, I talked to James Cameron about that. He says that guy can only punch with his right hand. So all the combo stuff, get rid of it. You know?
Oh man, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Does that mean you know something about the new Avatar movie?
Yeah. I was like, what do you
No, I'm just kidding.
Answer us right now.
I don't know anything.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, very cool.
So what about like of the projects you've worked on, do you have any that kind of stick out that you were like, man, this was a blast. This was like my favorite-ish? Or not even, you don't have to say favorite, but you know, like up
something
there, like
memorable.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Memorable.
Oh, this is cool. I'm excited for this.
Oh, Free Guy was definitely up there. Yeah, we'll start with Free Guy. Free Guy was really cool because the days I was there, we had like every stunt gag working. So when we lit that guy on fire for the first time, on top of that, what was going on was there was a car chase coming down. We were downtown Boston somewhere. I think Post Office Square. We had a car chase. We had Tanner Faust from Top Gun. He was driving one of the cars. We had a dude zip lining across while shooting a machine gun. We had a dude falling out of a window into boxes, but later on, he like CG'd fire on him. It's just like it was that scene when Ryan Reynolds goes in the middle and like he's just looking around and the camera's
all
going 360.
the bullshit's just happening around him. Right.
That was the scenes I was working on. And it was just pure chaos. It's controlled chaos, of course, but
right.
It was just cool to see like so many stunt people and stunts just working in one scene. It's just craziness, you know, to nail it all in a 360 take.
Yeah. That's like a lot of coordination. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got to do everything. And like, I don't know, as a stunt coordinator, like that's got to be pretty damn impressive. You're like, hey, you know what I mean? Like I just did this. Look at all this.
Yep. Like, yeah, it was hectic. Then one of the more memorable ones I worked on was another one was Don't Look Up. That was just because that was interesting. Just like
great movie.
Yeah. it was just interesting because like it was one of the first big movies I worked on, like, while quarantine and pandemic stuff was happening.
Right.
And we were one of the first shows to work on it. You had to be quarantined for 8 days. So like if you were booked for one day, they stuck you in a hotel for 8 days just to work that one day.
Oh,
Wow.
And so like I was on that for like almost a month, just like with a couple days here and there scattered.
Oh, wow.
man,
Yeah,
that
because
sounds
of all those
brutal.
like regulations and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
What were the stunts like? Like I'm trying to think like back to that movie.
Sometimes a lot of stunts are subtle. Like, so one of the big things we worked on was like this big riot scene. Actually, remember when the DC riots were happening?
Yes.
We recreated that. I don't know. It wasn't, I guess it's coincidental, but like we basically recreated the DC riots on the streets the next day when it actually happened. Like I was in a DC
no
riot
way.
cop uniform and everything with riot shields.
Holy shit.
Oh shit. Okay, I
Yeah.
remember that part where they're pushing everyone back and all that.
Yeah,
Okay,
but it was like we did. Yeah, it was like
that's a big scene, dude. There's a lot of people. That was all real people, right?
yeah.
They didn't because I know sometimes they I've seen the I follow a few like cinephile Instagram accounts where it shows like Lord of the Rings, for example, and it'll show like a group of like 30 guys like get up on a rock and go rah, and then it shows like CGI and they just make it a whole army.
No, it was all real people. I don't think
Wow.
they CG'd much on that scene at least. But yeah, like we did a lot of stuff that night, but you don't really get to see a lot in the movie. It was more like background fighting because like it's more about the actors talking. I was
Yeah.
like, whatever. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
that's a good point.
how much of it seems like it must be, at least nowadays, very uncommon for like actors to do their own stunts just because CGI is so good. And like I don't like where, like, do you see a lot of like bigger named actors like doing their own stunts, like at least from what you've worked on? Like,
It all depends on the project, and how much the actor wants to commit. The reason why like the John Wick movies are so good is, sorry, who's calling me? Oh, not right now. I'm busy. Sorry.
I feel honored. We've had people just take it, so I appreciate that.
Rude. What was I say? Oh yeah, so like like the reason why John Wick was so good is just because Keanu put in the time and effort. He actually trained like a stunt guy,
Yeah.
because they were trying to keep so much of it like to be him actually doing the action.
Yeah.
And he was doing it on his own time. He wasn't getting paid for any of that.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
But
that's
that-
admirable.
But sometimes you get like actors who are just more on a tight schedule, or they're doing one show and then they have to go on to your show right after, and so they might not have time to train. So that's where you rely on the double.
Mhm.
Okay.
But I think it's always better when you can have the actor do most of their stuff, at least as much of it as they can. Like
Yeah.
Right.
at least make it
Within
convincing
reason.
that you can clear a room. Make it convincing that like Halle Berry is supposed to be a boxer. She actually trained like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
for sure.
Halle Berry is one of those that's just like through and through. Like she, whatever role she was doing, she always really went for it. Like
Yeah.
she won that Monsters Ball award for a reason,
yeah, why not dive into it? Are you getting paid all that money? Like put in the time
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
research. Make it as best as it could be.
It's like
Yeah.
I feel like it's also just like an excuse to learn something new. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, you get to learn how to box. Like, when's the next time you're gonna have to do that for a
Right.
job? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
Exactly.
Stephen Amell, he does the Arrow.
Yep,
He's a big time, tries to do as many stunts as he can. I know that.
and it shows.
Yeah.
The show's so good because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Well, and it's like, so do you, on your own, personal experience, I guess, because you've done smaller projects too.
Oh yeah.
Now, do you sometimes see people just because of budgetary reasons, sort of forced into a stunt that they you're almost coaching them through it because
Oh,
they're-
on the day.
because they're maybe they're an actor and it's a low budget thing and it's
That's a
hey,
good question.
I know you might not know how to do this punching scene, but don't worry, I got you, kind of a thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of why you have a coordinator on set, because sometimes you get a show that gets a little pushy and they're like, no, just make it happen, and it's kind of up to the coordinator to be like, no, well, look, we didn't have time to rehearse this. We're not gonna have a 3-minute fight.
Like, advocate for the safety of the people
Yeah,
involved and
and-
stuff.
Yeah.
And then you gotta figure out how to shoot smart and be like, all right, well, if we didn't have time to train her, at least can we get a double?
Yeah,
and if
something.
if you can't do that, I don't know, on the smaller project we just did,
Yeah.
you took it on yourself to learn how to box and stuff in your own time.
Even and I wish I had more time, to be honest. 3 weeks it was 4 weeks. But when I stepped into the ring 4 weeks prior to arriving there, I hadn't ever really done boxing. I did one session where a buddy of mine gave me some like gloves and some mitts. He's like, all right, hit him, you know, but like that was way back in college and I didn't learn a goddamn thing. And then so I get to actually being there with the trainer and I realized just how terrible I was and how fucking hard fighting is. It's so hard. And the ceiling for what you can do with a combat sport is just seemingly infinitely high, especially when I'm just starting out. And so I got a real appreciation for like what it takes to actually learn. But even the time that I did put in, I think was extremely helpful because by the time I got to filming the actual scene, I felt a lot better about it. And I mean, luckily it wasn't like a boxing movie. You know, where like I was expected to be on camera a ton with the boxing.
Yeah.
But I think that the camera time that I lived in the boxing world, I think the training did definitely like pay off.
Anything helps. And I mean, putting in 3 weeks, that's huge already.
Yeah,
just be able to get a general feeling and how to move and how to think like and feel like a boxer.
Yeah.
That helps a ton.
And just being able to like throw a punch and like not have it look completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, so many times I've showed up to a show and it's like, all it is one slap or one punch, and you're spending like an hour coaching this actor how to just throw the punch, just because like, you know, I take it for granted. I'm like, this is body mechanics. How do you not know how to use your arm? But it's like, you know, if you've never done it, you're not gonna be comfortable with it, and they'll throw all sorts of stuff like limp wrist or
it could really take you out of a scene too if you're like watching it, you know, and you see and like. Because, like, for me, dude, at least when I see, like, a fight scene in a movie or, like, you know, whatever, or, like, somebody that shoots a pistol, like, 40 times and doesn't reload, and it's one, I'm like, come on. Like, you know?
At least have
like,
the person reload.
At least once.
Like, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Like, that, it can really take you out of it, you know? For me, sometimes, like, oh, well, they just ruined the whole thing for me, at least this part. So, yeah.
Do you notice that a lot when you watch movies?
Oh, yeah.
Do you like pick it apart all the time?
I try not to. For the first time I watch a movie, I try to watch it, just everything turned off. I'm just like, I just want to enjoy it and just watch the story and everything. And then the second time around, I'll try to nitpick it. My girlfriend's actually picked up on it too, and she's like, no, that was fake. Oh, that punch sucked. I'm like, why did you use that angle? I'm like, damn, did I talk that much around you? Like,
this is why Anthony needs to be on set.
Yeah.
Dude, you know, it's funny though, because like you go on set, like, or at least being around set, and like I haven't even done it as much as either of you guys have, but like, you know, you notice things or even just like learning about it, like you said, you turn it off, like it kind of ruins some of like the magic of watching something, because you're like, well, I know exactly what's going on. That guy's on a wire and there's fucking something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know how the effects are working. You're like, those explosions, that was in a mortar in the ground. It was just a 2-inch pipe. You're like, whatever. You know?
Yeah. You kind of do have to turn it off.
That part I'm still very like mystified about. So
that special effects stuff?
Yeah, it's still very much like
mostly guarded secrets over there.
Yeah. Well, you know what it reminds me of? So I'm a big audio guy too. So I've been doing like audio music production for the longest time. So I can listen to a song and like I'll be able to pick out, I'm like, oh yeah, can you hear that tambourine coming in the chorus? It's like 12 dB lower than the vocal, but it brings out that chorus like you wouldn't believe. And I'll pick up on parts where I hear like pitch correction happen on someone's vocal. I'm like, oh man, they must have had a tough time, or maybe that was a choice. I don't know. But it's like, you know, so I imagine it's very similar when you get to like, you know, watching a movie and you've seen what was green screen and now it's like, can you tell? Like some of these movies these days look so good.
Yeah.
It's like tough.
Yeah. Especially what they're doing with the Mandalorian, the LED screen and all that.
Dude, that's a great addition. I mean, I feel like it's good for the actors involved too, because like it gives you something to actually, you don't have to pretend like everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the one thing that Ewan McGregor said when he was doing the Obi-Wan series, is that the technology had come so far that it felt a lot more lifelike to do some of the more like CGI based scenes. I don't know if you ever watched any of like the behind the scenes of like episode 3, but like that fight between him and Anakin when they're on the like. Did you watch Star Wars?
No.
Oh really? Oh
yeah.
Okay.
I don't watch a lot of movies.
That's really surprising.
So funny. Yeah.
It's horrible. People reference stuff all the time around me. Like, I remember that thing in Jackie Chan. I'm like, no. Yeah.
Also, why are you assuming that I know the thing about Jackie Chan?
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. So I won't go to the whole Star Wars thing. It's just like all blue screen, and like I can only imagine like trying to do a whole acting thing where everything's just blue screen. Like what was the actor who does Gandalf?
It's also Ian something.
Yeah, I forget his name, but one of his biggest complaints with the
Let me guess, you didn't watch Lord of the Rings? Okay.
No,
Okay.
I'm horrible. Or Harry Potter, nothing. None of the trilogies. Yeah, John Wick. That's the only trilogy I've ever watched.
Well, I think I'll still mention it just in case whoever's listening might know the reference. But like in the new Hobbit series, they used a ton of green screen stuff. And so he was doing a lot of scenes just like talking to a tennis ball. And he said that, he said that it was actually really sad and depressing being on set because he was so used to interacting with other actors that when he had to do weeks on end talking to a tennis ball, he was going a little bit insane.
I was gonna say, like, you gotta like start to get kind of crazy because you're like, you're like really trying to get yourself into talking to like a tennis ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was even weird for me with this movie that I just filmed, and Lal, who is
Indian Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes, dude.
Bro, that was the sell. That's why I wanted to be involved.
Oh, and boy, does he have a voice, my guy. When he laughs, it's literally like and like it's like,
does he cross his arms and pump his shoulders?
Yes, dude, like he's such a cool guy, like super deep voice, very like also way taller than I thought he was gonna be when I met him. He's like 6'2", 6'3".
All right, yeah.
Yeah, so like when I was talking, I mean, I'm saying I'm 5'11", people are always like, oh, just say you're 6 feet. I'm pushing it when I say 5'11", all right? I'm more like 5'10" and a half, maybe. And so on a good day. And so when I was doing the scene with him in the room, whole different experience. His eyes are looking at me. He's giving me expressions, and I'm able to bounce off that and feel that. But then because he's a high-profile actor, he'd already finished his stuff, and so he gets to leave. Oh. And so now I have to do the same monologue, but the camera's on me this time. He's out of the room, and now I'm doing the monologue to the back of a camera battery.
Dude, yeah, that's lame. That sucks. Like, it's hard. It's hard to react off of anything.
It was really tough, and the only reason I was able to really get it how I really wanted it to is because I was able, Ratish, the angle master, shot so many angles that by the time I got to the end of it, Lal had actually come back and we got even more takes where it was on me and him and like good. A side angle and
from the ceiling and then from the window like across the street. And
and by the time I got to the end of it, I really feel like I couldn't have done anything else.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of having something react off. Like, that they actually use stunt guys a lot. Like, even if we get shot out dead, they'll have us like on the ground still just so the actors can react off of it. Or if we're doing wire work, they'll hang us up, even though we're off camera, right? Just give you eye line and just somebody to talk to.
Yeah, like something is there.
Yeah.
No, and I think it's big, man. Like I did a short film, and my acting mentor played my father who had dementia, and he had this part where he came outside of the house and he screamed something, and it's like this really emotional moment. And he's not on camera for the first 10 takes as they're setting up camera angles and we're doing rehearsal, but every single time he is putting 1,000% into this performance. And it just made, like, everyone on set was like, look, he's not on camera. Like, he knows that, right? But it didn't matter, man. He was in it 100% every single time, and it just makes a difference.
And I respect that. Because you got some actors who are like, oh, not my coverage, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And you got some other actors, too. Like, it's like a two-shot over somebody's shoulder. I've worked with some higher A-lister people who, like, they purposely, like, if you're shooting over their shoulder, they'll try to like eat up as much of the frame as possible.
Really?
Yeah, because they're like they just don't want to be there, so they they can have production just be like, all right, get them out of here.
Oh my god,
they don't want to be there for the opposite eye line.
Wow, that seems
kind of a dick move. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude. I get it, but like,
so my goal obviously is to make it as an actor, but I really hope I never get there. I hope I break that stigma, man. That's bullshit.
So far, you're on a good track, man. Busting the stunt team's balls. Yeah. You're all right. You're all right.
Yeah, well, dude,
you're almost there, man.
Yeah. Just keep being an asshole, dude. We love it, you piece of shit.
Dude, although during that scene where Dana was screaming, like, we're just at our house because it literally was just in the backyard, and like people are just living their lives in the neighborhood, and he's screaming his lungs off like, "Where's my house?" And like the neighbors are like, "What the fuck is going on?"
It's like a whole thing. Yeah,
we gotta call Life Alert. This elderly man is lost.
Seriously, it was like kind of funny. I think we actually did have to like tell the neighbors like, "Hey, sorry, like,
we're filming
just a movie." It's not.
Yeah, they weren't. I think by the time that we were done filming that backyard scene, they were definitely done with us. We had to tell them to shut their pool thing off. Yeah. Because it was coming out on the mic. So like it's too bad they had like granddaughters that wanted to go swimming in the pool. We were like, for now, if you could just not.
They were team players about it.
They were.
That's awesome.
It was great.
Nice.
It was
dude. That's one of the things I love about filmmaking. You sometimes get random interactions like that,
and people are cool about it.
Yeah, sometimes you don't. Yeah, not totally cool.
yeah. There definitely was a moment later in the day when someone who hadn't been there all day was visiting the house next door, and the assistant director walked over because they were like loading stuff into the house, and we were on the porch, and it was very, very loud, and obviously the mics are picking up everything. And he was like, "Hi, could it be possible?" She was like, "I don't know what you're doing, but get out."
What?
Yeah, it was like a whole thing, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Dylan."
Yeah,
he was like, okay, sorry, and like you do feel awkward and weird because like it's a little bit different than being on like a set. Like we're just at people's houses, So it's like, it's a little different.
Well, I forgot which. I was working on one show and we had a hold up, and I found out from locations later. We paused for a little bit because some guy was mowing his lawn, and they was picking it up on the mics, and so the locations people went over there and were like, "Hey, dude, could you stop?" He's like, "No, I gotta get this done because it's gonna rain tomorrow." They're like, "All right, we understand. Can you just stop for like an hour?" He's like, "Nah." So they were like, "All right, look, we'll give you $100. Please, just stop for an hour." And he's like, "All right, cool." They give him the money. They come back. All of a sudden, he starts up his weed whacker.
He did not understand the assignment, dude.
They think he was just trying to get more money because, like, yo, come on, stop. He's like, I really gotta get this done. They're like, come on, $100 more.
Wow, this guy sniffed out the change. And he's like, wait a minute.
He's like, I didn't say shit about weed whacking.
Yo,
sorry. I can't weed whack. Hold up, grabs his hedge trimmers.
Dude, yeah. But some of the crazy local stories was, I disconnected. Oh, back in.
Back in?
Back in, yeah. When I was working last summer on Black Panther 2, we did some of it in Worcester.
Whoa, you were dropping that casually. Yeah, dude, you were doing Black Panther 2?
Yeah, man.
All right, I know you can't talk about it, but
Yeah, not much, but just this is more of a local story.
Yeah.
We were like downtown, and Disney, they have this strict policy, like, no phones allowed, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
They started yelling at us. They're like, if we catch you with your phones, you're getting sent home. They were getting.
Is this high school or is this the Disney set?
Exactly. Well, it's crazy because then you had like locals who were just eating at the restaurants and stuff like on Main Street downtown, or just like even local residents. They were just out there with their phones filming all the stunt stuff. Like we're doing car crashes and stuff like that. And I was like, we can't film this for ourselves, but this is going to be on YouTube in like 2 hours. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's all over Instagram stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wonder how they like, maybe their reasoning is like, we can't control that, but we can control these people.
I guess so. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely super cool though.
Also pretty
was that
cool.
like
Just snuck that in there? Like
we were like, oh, what are some of your favorite projects?
Because you got me thinking. And I was like, what else have I done?
I didn't know that was in the Worcester area.
Yeah, they came back to do like 2 weeks in Boston and Worcester.
Okay,
and that was really cool. Just because we were actually before this, we were all talking about Worcester because I'm originally from there, and you're kind of from the area.
Yeah.
And we all have a Worcester connection somehow. But that was just cool, man.
Yeah,
it's always crazy that like big productions film in like Massachusetts. I always think it's New York.
Yeah.
I always think it's New York. And there's a ton of stuff that obviously films in New York.
You just can't get away with a lot of stuff in New York, especially with car stuff. They have like certain speed. You can't go over 30 miles an hour. If the car's tires leave the pavement, you gotta have special plates put in place. Like, if cars rolling over and it's going on its roof.
Oh shit! Okay.
So you can get away with a lot more like outside of New York. And
That's
plus
so
we have the tax
interesting.
incentives in Massachusetts.
Yeah, dude. That was what's his name? Paul. Was it Ron Paul? One of the original governors in the 90s put this whole thing in place that if you start up a business in Massachusetts, you're essentially tax-free for 20 years or something.
What?
Yeah. That's why Massachusetts, that's why it's like the tech hub of the East Coast because of all these crazy tax incentives to actually start a company.
That makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, which is like a crazy thing. At the time, people were like, "Oh no," because like corporations aren't going to pay taxes. But it's like, but if they have this incentive, they'll create more jobs, and then you'll have a job.
Right, and then with all those jobs, those people are hanging out and like going to bars and stuff after, pumping money back in the economy.
Yeah,
it works out. They got to live nearby. Like,
I wonder like if I'll recognize the area or just in the movie when I go to see it.
I think you will. Yeah, it's. I think I can give this away.
Is it in like Kelly Square?
More in front of the courthouse.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna be like, oh shit, that's when was.
Yeah, you'll see like the Palladium in the background and stuff.
Okay, dude, that's so funny. That is so funny.
Yeah, it is crazy how much stuff is filmed there. Like, I wonder. You ever seen The Other Guys with Mark Wahlberg and
Chris Evans?
No, and Mark Wahlberg and come on, comedian. The Other Guys,
Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Rock is in it briefly with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, for like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. I think a lot of that was shot. Is it supposed to be New York?
I think it's supposed to be New York. Yeah.
I feel like some of these things where it's supposed to be New York, now that I know that like you can't do certain car stunts in New York, they probably just go to Boston in like a taller building section and just do their stunt there.
Honestly, sometimes or sometimes they just go to like Buffalo and then get away with a lot more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So is it specifically New York City?
New York City, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
What was it?
So
I think what happened was like on the Sorcerer's Apprentice, like somebody was driving a Ferrari and they hit the curb and went into a storefront and they weren't supposed to. So I think ever since then there were things in place.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was one of those stunt guys that was like, yeah, I could drive a Ferrari.
So when you do stuff like that on the exactly. Like, I could do that. All right, cool.
I could do that.
How do you shift again?
when you guys do like stunts like that on the street, like how much of the street is everybody on the section that you're filming on at least like an actor or like related to, like
they're with production.
Clear it out.
Yeah, they have full lockup, so they have PAs on all the corners. Like, so if you're just locking it straight up, just one section of the street, they have like PAs and cops on the corners to lock it up, and then have PAs like in the storefronts to make sure no one goes in or out.
Mm-hmm.
In an ideal world, well, you get people who trickle through like bikers and stuff that kind of just wander in, and that's when you gotta they call it and they just go bogey, 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 and everything they stop the roll and make sure they get them out.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like sometimes like it's happened before where like people aren't aware what's going on. They'll come in with their baby carriage and start crossing the street, and there's a car chase coming. Yeah.
Oh.
So they usually have a safety meeting, and they go like, "Look, I know I'm the director, I'm the stunt coordinator. I usually call a cut, but like honestly, you're PA. If anyone sees anything going wrong or going south, just go down on the radio and go cut, call bogey."
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are safety things in place, but so then the pedestrians all like usually stunt people just in case like things do go wrong and they can run and jump and dodge out of the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes sense though.
Jeez.
Like, but because I'm thinking like usually when you say for movies, it's like everybody that you see on camera's an extra. So I'm like, all right, in the street, right? They got to shut things down.
Yeah.
So, but I could totally see somebody just not paying attention, just wheeling their bike in or something.
Yeah.
Which got to be kind of crazy to think about, like the hiring process that goes into hiring a bunch of extras for a big city scene where there's literally like a whole street full of like busy New Yorkers.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, a lot of that's like backstage and things like that, but it's just crazy to think like, there could be like 100 extras on there. And as a kid, I really thought that like, oh, they just kind of like, they had to just film and then they just threw the actor in there,
Yeah, I used to think that too. And then the legality stuff kicked in. I was like, wait a minute. You could sue somebody.
Yeah, very easily.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't give you permission. You're in the production now. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was too, so I did a Six Flags commercial last year.
Oh, I saw that, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you on the print stuff too?
I'm on the so I think some of the print. I have to see. I want to go there this year just to see if I'm like anywhere around.
You're the reason why I'm going to go now.
Yeah. But supposedly we are. Supposedly like because there's like a few rides that we're gonna like we did a whole commercial like video spot.
Wait, did you shoot there? It was in the summer, right?
Yeah, it was July.
Yeah, I was there. I saw a little production crew. Like you guys going ride to ride, just shooting stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked through. Dude, that's funny. All right, so we
what were you doing there?
I was there for fun, and I saw my buddies working on the crew, and I came over and chatted, and they were like, "Oh, we're filming a commercial."
Oh, that's crazy.
So we probably crossed paths.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, dude, they shut down. I think all the park for the whole morning, and I think it opened up later at night. to the actual public.
Mhm.
But it was weird being at an amusement park with no one there. And it's just like you and some actors. And it felt like a Scooby-Doo movie. You know what I mean? Like where you're just like in an empty amusement park and you're just like, oh shit, like it's just us.
Dude,
like
that's
there's
awesome.
no line for Superman. There's no line for anything.
And you guys got to go on the rides too?
Yeah, so afterwards
lucky.
they gave us free passes.
Nice.
So they gave us like free passes to come back. So I brought my little brother for Fright Fest later that year.
That's awesome.
But then the rest of the night they just said, yeah, go do whatever after you're done filming.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like a cool thing. But the whole point of that was as a kid, I really believed that they were like, oh yeah, we're just gonna hook up some cameras to these rides, go have fun, and we'll just film random people. And and then you come to find out it's obviously.
Oh, dude, all that magic's ruined. Like I never understood when they cut the angles. I was like, you never see the other camera. How?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. Oh, they repeat it. I just thought they ran through the scene one time and just cover it and
that's
move
it.
on. Yeah,
dude. It's a funny thing when you realize just how many times you might have to do a scene.
Yeah.
Especially with this past movie, how many times I had to do those scenes. But the other thing with stunts that I've been curious about is like, have you been, and I guess like you're not really into Star Wars and stuff.
I know.
But
should be.
But like in Lord of the Rings, like a lot of these
anything good.
Yeah, well,
do you like anything?
Dude, what do you watch? It is funny that you're like a stunt guy, but you don't watch a lot of stuff. Do you watch like shows and like stuff in general? Or
I try to, yeah, but I have this weird talent, like like when people can quote movies or remember like cool scenes.
Yeah,
I have this talent like 2 weeks. After seeing the movie, it's gone. I'm like, I know I enjoyed it, but I don't really remember much.
Okay.
Yeah, it's horrible. I don't know why.
Because my next question was going to be about like sword play.
Yes. What?
So like, do you have like skills with swords?
I do. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
We should do a sword fight,
dude. I can't, but I would love to learn.
We could choreograph something and just do it. Just shoot it, man.
Really?
Dude, that would be so dope. Why not?
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we should
have
all get
stuff
together
for it.
because that's what I do in my free time. We shoot test fights.
Yeah.
Just think of a loose concept, come together, and then we're like, all right, we want these beats to happen. Like, I want to throw you through a table. You're gonna go through this wall. This guy flies, and so we all kind of like, you design your own thing. That's how we get work. We just pitch we make it happen. Just be like,
wow,
we've done it before. Give us a shot. And like, I remember like, I had a bunch of friends who got together and shot a test fight, and they submitted to the stunt coordinator of Daredevil season 2. Every one of those guys got a contract, and they worked.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So it's just like basically like real, like if you wanted something for your reel.
Exactly,
you know,
100%. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, that'd be super dope. We should definitely do that.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, we're gonna do all the things, tricking.
Yeah,
sword fights.
dude, honestly.
All right, hey Randy, go do your backflip.
Yeah, we'll figure something out because that would be cool. Why not?
Yeah. Well, I saw like Donnie showed me this video that's on his Instagram of him getting like he was like doing like this punch with this woman, and the woman punches him in the chest, and he like flies up.
Yeah.
He flies like 30 feet across the room, hits a bar.
Yeah, hits a bar, does a flip around the bar, and lands on his back. I was like, whoa, that happened out of nowhere.
See, that when I saw that, like that harness tug looked like it would have left something. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because that was like a.
So how did you like? So I imagine, right? Like swords, but like you must know swords. Like you can't just like you said, you can't just like be like, oh yeah, I know how to do swords. So how do you learn how to do like sword stuff?
I mean, I learned from my martial arts competition days. So like I competed in fighting weapons and forms, and sword was one of my things. Yeah. So I'm not formally like the kendo stuff or like Iaido. Like I'm not like I don't know all the cuts and names, but like I know enough. Like I've worked with the sword long enough to be
that
like,
stuff
all right, I can
is
control
actually
it.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
like the wooden sword stuff. I used to fence when I was in 7th and 8th grade.
Damn, rich
It was
kid.
just so random. Dude, it was one of these random things. Like my mom put me. It was in Worcester actually. It was in fucking Worcester.
Oh, Worcester fencing club.
Yeah.
I used to go there too. That's
Dude,
funny.
it's so funny. Yeah, it was so random. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, we go over there after going to the country club. Very
Oh yeah,
exclusive.
smoking cigars, pull up in your Lamborghini.
No,
Worcester fencing club, dude. I was thinking about checking that out. I remember my first class got stabbed in the nipple, and this girl just kept doing it. I'm like, how do you keep fighting fine. And then I looked down. I was like, oh, it's just cold. And my nipples are actually poking out.
It's like, but why is she aiming for it?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
That's bad funny. Well, dude, I would love to like do that, like do like a
man.
stunt thing, because I like, you know, it relates to acting quite a lot, and I do want to eventually be one of those guys that isn't just totally helpless when it comes to the stunts. You know?
I think just looking at your type, you're kind of built to being like an action actor.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
it's a dream, man.
I mean, I've been following you on Instagram for a few weeks now. You work your ass off. So
Thank you, dude. I really
think you
appreciate
can make it happen. Like,
Dude, I like my absolute dream role, and I hope it's not taken already, but like would be to play Terry McGinnis, who is Batman Beyond, if you ever watched those cartoons as a kid.
Oh, dude.
I would love to be live action. You know,
Yeah.
just paint my hair black. I already got the blue eyes. And if I shave this
Yeah, it's
beard,
true.
I'm like 20 years old. So
Dude,
I think it could work.
Let's get together and just start training. I mean, I need more
dude.
training partners.
Yeah,
Dude,
why not?
I would love it. And, you know, I'm pretty much a glorified dummy with the training. So, you know.
We'll trade. Look, like, you guys are very fit guys. I wanna lose this. I can start looking more like a ninja.
Oh, dude.
Dude, I'm
could
so
make
down.
that happen.
I feel like it's so much easier when you like know people that are also kind of into it. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like more fun that way, anyways. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool that you're in
Synergistic.
Worcester. You know,
Look at that.
Or-
The
sorry.
conclusion of this podcast is going to be us setting up an awesome like test demo. We're going to get hired by somewhere.
Yeah,
You know?
look at that,
Dude, yeah.
So before, I think we've actually been going a little bit here. Is there anything that you'd like to?
I was getting warmed up, man.
I know. Well, hey, we can keep going if you want.
I got
But-
nowhere to be. Well, up to you guys.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, so okay. Well, then so if
This is gonna be a long episode.
yeah, well, I'm also thinking about the editing part, but that's fine. So I am curious about more of the subtleties of your life, if you do have the time.
Yeah. Let's
So
go.
like, have you ever like dabbled with music or anything like that? Or like,
I did. Yeah, I played guitar. I actually used to work at Guitar Center.
Oh, look at
back
that.
in the day. Yeah.
Oh my
I was a DJ at one point too for like a dance tour. I used to DJ at clubs and weddings. And,
Wait, so okay, you used to work at Guitar Center.
Yeah.
Why?
and
Why
you're
is
like,
it?
I know he was futzing with the cable earlier. Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to use the headphones. And you're like,
Well, no.
yeah.
More importantly, why is it that there is like an hour minimum at every Guitar Center visit ever?
You could go to Guitar Center to buy a fucking capo, and it takes an hour, dude. And every time they're like, sorry, this is this guy's first day. We're training him.
The computer's being real slow right now.
Yeah.
It's from 1985.
Dude, have you seen the computers? It's all the green screen crap.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
it's-
I don't know how
oh.
they haven't updated that yet.
It's
blows
got
my
like
mind.
256 megs of RAM. It's going to take at least 45 minutes for me to enter your name.
Oh, my
The
God.
last time I was at a Guitar Center, I was renting a fog machine for that music video shoot.
How do you rent? They rent stuff now?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they rent stuff. And
I
I
had
rented
no
the whole
idea.
lighting board and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true. That
It's-
light setup was.
Yeah, it was what made the music video was having
That's the rock one that you showed.
Yes,
me.
the
Okay,
rock one. Yeah. And honestly, it was the Hurricane a fog machine. So dude, this thing is meant to like blow up stages.
I was gonna say it fills a stadium basically.
Yes, it fit, and which was good because the space that we were in was massive. So you know, you press the button, and it's like, I mean, calling it a hurricane is true to the name. So the funniest part was there was some guy that was definitely like brand new to the place, and he was just like, everything he was doing was like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, this is okay. Yeah, I'll go get that. Oh, yeah, I can get that ladder. And he gets the ladder. And as he's getting the ladder, he doesn't realize that the ladder's too tall for the other section he's about to enter, and just like smashes the ladder into the sign that's like, you know, like how they have the pro, not pro audio, the pro audio like keyboard section.
Yeah.
So he's just like wheeling this ladder that fits in the guitar section straight into the sign with the keyboard section. And like, then he looks around and only I noticed, he's like, oh. And he moves it back into an acoustic guitar, and the acoustic guitar falls off the rack.
Dude.
It was literally like slapstick humor.
Yeah, it's
and
hilarious.
then like I was just renting equipment, was there for an hour and a half. And so I see this guy, he's like, hey, can you go get the magazines out of the front or whatever, or pick up this thing out of this guy's trunk? So he grabs the dolly and he cuts the cord too tight, and the wheel hits an entire magazine container thing, and it falls over. And like, dude, this guy. Anyways, that's like,
He's like Homer Simpson in real life.
dude. It was literally like a slapstick comedy inside Guitar Center. It was
That's
unbelievable.
awesome.
So yeah, so how was that working at Guitar Center?
Oh, it sucked. I hate it. I did it for the discount because you get 40% off. That's the only reason. Yeah.
40%.
Dude, I was buying up the store.
Crazy.
Yeah, every check went to like Guitar Center stuff.
That's so
Just
funny.
buy more gear.
See, they're excited to hire new people because every check just goes right back
Yeah.
into the company.
Dude,
Yeah. They say you earn commission, but I never saw it.
It was like Best Buy, their discount is 5% above store cost.
Oh.
So like anything that's like a Best Buy item that like they produce, for example, I can get HDMI cables for like $4.
Wow.
Because like they produce them as a company. And it just made me think like, oh man, okay, so like, 5% above what they pay for it. I'm like, they're buying these things for like $1.50 and selling them for
that's crazy.
Whatever.
Everything's cheap. Yeah.
But
that's so you played guitar.
Yeah.
Now, are you like adept at guitar, or do you just kind of noodle around?
No, I was pretty good. I was in a band and everything. And
really?
Yeah.
What kind of band?
Nice.
It was a rock band. Yeah.
Rock band?
A lot of cover stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Stuff like Census Fail and
Oh, dude, Census Fail, Can't Be Saved, right? That's them.
Yeah.
Can't Be Saved, Calling All Cars. Those are the songs I know.
Bloody Romance. There's
very cool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I kind of fell out of that just because I don't know. I have commitment issues and I couldn't make it practice.
Yep,
it's like it's tough, man. I was a drummer for years in bands. I was in like a bunch of little cover bands in high school, and I did like the talent show and stuff in my little high school, and that was fun. And then I ended up getting in this metal band, Glory Before. This was back when I was like 16. And we did a bunch of shows, and we were actually getting pretty good traction when I was when around 16, 17 was when we started to blow up a little bit. I say a little bit because our biggest show, we headlined at the Webster Underground in Hartford, which is a pretty decent sized theater. And I just remember like the crowd just like, first of all, they had our name at the top of the bill. So like when you got to the show, there was like Glory Before. And I was like, oh, it's like such a highlight as a 17-year-old. I saw Mac Miller walk past me at that same show. He like was playing, or no, it was a different show that we played there, but he was playing a show at the main stage.
Oh yeah.
And we were playing hacky sack outside. And of course there's like 15 billion girls outside just like waiting in line, and he walks around and we were playing hacky sack. We were like, yo, Mac, what's up? And he turns around, I was like, hey guys. But anyways, yeah, band days, dude. That's when I had long hair. I'll have to show you a picture, but I had like super long, like
a Bieber cut,
Bieber cut hair, no facial hair, of course.
Like baby Bieber.
Yeah, baby Bieber, dude. Yeah, it's funny to think about those days. So
that's not a thing anymore. Like that whole genre. You don't hear it on the radio anymore.
I will say the thing that's overtaking teenagers now is the duck butt. And that's coined by Chris D'Elia. But the duck butt hairstyle.
Where that's coming back?
Yeah, where it's like because the Bieber look was like flat, straight across the forehead, right? And it went pushed one direction. You could do the flip. Okay, well now the style is a lot of these TikTok guys have it where their hair is all forward and then the front of it curls up.
Yeah,
and that's like the biggest thing ever.
That was like I would say like mid 2000s. Like I'm surprised it's coming back.
That's what happens, like every 20 years or so, right?
Yeah, bleaching your hair. You know, that's going to be the next thing. You're going to start seeing that more often.
Dude, I definitely did that in middle school. You know what though? It's because my like one of my, I think it was maybe my uncle or something, was like a barber, and like
you bleached your hair.
He was doing highlights for a bunch of people, and he was like trying to practice, so like he did it on me. I was like, I gotta go to school, and I was in middle school, dude. I was in 6th or 7th grade.
Best time to get a bad haircut, isn't it?
Dude, my hair was super long too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had like a very like Beatles haircut. Like, my hair was like super long, and then it was just like had highlights in it. You know what I mean?
So was it like a boy band look?
Dude, it was actually really funny. I texted my mom for a picture. I'll see if I can find one. But.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I really want to see that.
Just sit in a chair and like put the aluminum foil on your head and stuff, you know.
Yeah, you sit there with a magazine waiting for it to dry.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
In that time, I did a Brazilian blowout to have my hair because my hair is naturally kind of wavy.
Wait, is that the Jersey Shore look?
That's like the no, that's like so. It depends on like which direction you go, right? If you get a perm in your hair and you want your perm to be curly, they can do that, or they can do the opposite, which is making it super straight. And so back then, you got to remember that Bieber look was in, and my hair did the duck butt thing. But back then, that wasn't in style. It was the flat look, and I used to literally wake up and flat iron my hair. That's how committed to that look I was. Isn't that crazy? Dude, yeah. And so I got it's like a keratin treatment. And it makes your hair
literally like pin straight.
Dude, it was ridiculous. It was like, and I can't believe my mom actually like co-signed on it. I guess she was just like, it's your hair.
Yeah. Do you remember that dude Ryan Cabrera? The crazy hair. He dated Ashley Simpson back in the day.
Oh, I'm gonna look him up.
He had that song On the Way Down. And it was like it played like at every mall for like 5 years.
I think I know the song. I don't remember what the guy looks like.
He had this. Yeah, his hair was like, I don't know, like
Oh yeah.
6 inches like above his head and
Yes.
all straight up.
Yes.
I
had
definitely do
that hair.
Oh, you had that?
So
You had that
So,
look?
so it's kind of the same thing. I wake up, straighten my hair every morning, 40 minutes, and style it.
Yeah, dude.
It wasn't worth it. So
Dude,
stupid.
isn't it so funny? and like it would look good for me because my hair wanted to be wavy so bad. It would look good for like, 30 minutes out of the day. And then like as soon as my oily forehead started getting in action, it would just like, curl back up again.
Damn it.
Oh God, that's so
Yeah.
funny. All the Asking Alexandria days. And
Oh, man.
did you listen to any of that music?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually just saw them at the Big E last year.
How are they? Because they're completely different these days. They're not really
Yeah, you're
doing
right. It's
screamo
different.
stuff. It's like
People
more.
enjoyed it. I kind of like some of their new stuff. A Day to Remember was headlining.
Oh yeah, dude!
They were at the Big E?
Yeah, the Day to Remember was at the Big E.
Yeah. They were
Wow.
headlining. Asking
What?
Alexandria opened up, then Point North.
Point North is really good.
Yeah, they have like 3 good songs. I
Yeah,
think.
I know Gasoline by them. That's it.
I forget the names, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the same thing. A Day to Remember, they've changed their music a little bit. Their new album's like a little more pop.
Yeah, it's a lot
which
more
was funny
poppy.
because they're all over the place, dude.
Yeah.
Because like they go from like what was the album that had like
Rescue Me with Marshmello.
they had that?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's another
yeah,
thing,
he
like
did the
having
vocals.
Marshmallow on a song.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, I didn't even know
yeah,
that.
that's a
Rescue
more
Me?
recent one, right?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
last year.
See
Yeah.
the album that was new from them that I really really liked because there was a period of time where I was like very so because like I loved Homesick. Everything off of that
Oh,
album is
yeah,
like
that's a
yes.
classic.
the holy grail of A Day to Remember that like essentially set the standard for what every band that was trying to be them was doing. Like the whole like screaming verses with breakdowns, singing choruses. And that's just like was the formula from then on out.
Yup.
And but the albums that had City of Ocula, Right Back at It Again, I think it came out sometime when we were in college. That one was really good. And then they came out with one that was like they tried to go like super, super heavy again. And I didn't even really like the production on it. It was a little bit if I'm trying to remember what it was. Not super important.
It's
But-
bothering me right now.
I know.
Like,
Okay. Now I'll
I'm
look it
trying
up.
to
I'll look
think,
it
like,
up. A
But
day.
them, 4 Years Strong.
Yeah, 4 Years Strong, Worcester.
There was, there was Worcester.
Yeah.
I literally saw them at the Palladium in Worcester. Actually.
Recently?
Yeah, no. This was
Oh.
a while ago when I was in high school, dude. I saw
Wow.
them a few times. I saw them at the Warped Tour a couple times too. Like,
Okay. So here's I'm totally interrupting you, my bad. But so For Those Who Have Heart was like the album that blew them up, right? That
Yep.
had like
Bomb the Panhandle was out on there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes it is. And Monument. And it
Yes.
also had, I'm pretty sure it had that cover, Since You've Been Gone. It had the
Oh,
Since You've Been
yeah,
Gone
yeah.
cover too. And then Homesick, great album. What Separates Me From You, iffy about that one. Common Courtesy, loved it. Bad Vibrations, hated it. And then You're Welcome is their newest one, and I haven't really listened to it much.
Yeah, that one's all right.
Yeah. It's tough, dude. It's tough being a band and being consistently awesome.
Yeah.
That's like a legitimately hard thing to do.
I think it's just hard too. They're just trying to like cater to like this generation. And just
Yeah.
still be relevant, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
because like that's where they make money, dude. It's
Yeah.
like a really tough business. Music's got to be one of the toughest businesses.
I just don't
feel like.
understand how are they making money. You know, like everything's streaming now. It's probably just from touring, right? Touring.
Yeah, you
merch.
have to. You
Yeah,
got to do
touring and
shows and
merch.
merch. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because, like, you don't really make much off streaming unless you have, like, billions of, you know what I mean?
Like
Yeah.
literally
lot.
a billion streams. Because like we've interviewed some people like that have multiple millions of streams on a song, and they see like a few K
Yeah. It's really about,
a
like,
year.
the only
Wow.
advantage it gives you is, like, it like validates you. So, like, you could go on social media or something and have
Yeah.
a presence and then maybe do something where, like, you have merch, right? Or, like, like, you
You
have,
have a
show.
bigger reach. and
Yeah.
Yeah.
influence,
Like, you need people to show up to your shows and stuff like that. So,
Like a lot of these guys now in the EDM space that we've been interviewing have been thinking about or even doing already NFTs.
I knew you
Yeah.
were getting that.
Like
yeah,
NFT projects, yeah.
Yeah,
That
which
makes
is
sense.
interesting to think about. Like I always thought of it as just like digital art, but now it's like digital art that has like a third layer to it, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like a visual and music and you can own it kind of a
Yeah.
thing.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see, like, how, like, right now it's like, it's kind of a crapshoot in that space. But
Yeah, it's because it's all so new.
Yeah,
you know?
everyone's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you own any like NFTs or anything like that?
I'm
or-
not that rich.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to.
I don't
I
understand.
want to
enough
say.
of it.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
my
his-
brother's really into it, but you know,
Yeah.
after the fencing comment and the,
Yeah.
you know, and the,
We dig
I
it deep.
didn't
Which
want
was
to
the-
bring it up, you know.
Yeah, you
It's
didn't want
like-
to bring up the NFTs and the crypto stuff. It still blows my mind. Like I'm still like Yeah, that's right. It's on the blockchain.
Yes.
And it's like money, but it doesn't exist. Neither does paper money. It's all currency.
Yep.
Really blows your mind. Like you're like, what do you mean this thing that I can't hold has value? You know, like it's really hard for my brain, even though like I do own some crypto. And I put a lot of money into crypto. I took a big jump on it, you know.
It's like art, but just like on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's supposed to give you perks or something too, like VIP access.
So that's like,
That's
something that gives you instant
NFTs.
value. Those are the ones that are actually projects that will take off, I think, because like you're getting something out of it, right? Like some of them are like tickets to a conference, right? Everybody that owns one gets to go to this conference, or like, you know, but like I think about some of the other stuff. You know, people pay for skins in like Fortnite. You know what I mean?
That's true.
That's
yeah.
like you can't grab. That's like a fake thing.
That is a fake thing.
And you know,
and it actually provides you no further value other than your enjoyment of its existence.
Yeah, you buy a T-shirt in the metaverse, dude. As soon as enough people adopt it, it's like it's gonna make sense.
Yeah, aren't people like buying land, like quote land in the metaverse?
100%. Yeah, real estate. Yeah.
How is it? Isn't the real estate in the metaverse infinite?
Yeah, it is. It's more so about location, I guess, who you're next to. I would imagine. This is how I would. So I don't own any, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, this is how I would imagine it has value. Like maybe, like, I don't know, like Sam L. Jackson has a house in the metaverse, and you bought the one next to it. So he's like watering his fake plants one day, and you're like, "What's up, dude?" You know what I mean? So like it just you know what I mean? Like it has value based on like who you're next to.
Right.
Like,
we're heading towards some Black Mirror stuff.
Some weird shit. Yeah, exactly.
We really are,
actually,
dude.
though.
The Second Life.
Oh, you've seen Black Mirror?
Oh, of course.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
I know. That's something I've seen.
Holy shit, we got one.
Yes. Well, dude, didn't the creator of Black Mirror say that he had to stop making episodes because it was becoming like he was almost predicting the future, and it got a little weird for him?
I don't know anything about that, but it makes sense.
Yeah, because like there was something where like he was like, yeah, life is too much like the stuff that I'm making.
Well, that's what's so creepy about that show. It's like they make it super advanced, but like just enough where it looks like this could be your life.
Yeah.
And it's like small things. Like for example, that's how it would be, right? It's not like flying cars and shit. It's like now we have cell phones, right?
Yeah.
Like 20, 30 years ago, that would have been like, holy shit. Right? Black Mirror, it's like, oh, you have this little thing in your ear or in your back of your head.
Yeah, like the whole like Neuralink thing where Elon Musk's biggest thing was like, oh, people are afraid of becoming a cyborg, but they don't realize they already are.
Yeah. Hey, you're
like,
attached to your phone.
Yeah, it's like the only thing that's different is the cell phone's not a part of you. It's just something you constantly carry.
Yeah.
That whole stuff is like we're kind of going down like a funny hole. But like,
I love it though.
Have you ever seen like the stuff on Neuralink? I haven't really looked at it.
No.
Okay, so the stuff that they have done is they've implanted in a bunch of pigs. And pigs are great for research because for whatever reason, pigs are actually very kind of close to humans in terms of like their structure of like organs.
The composition and all that. That's
Yeah,
part of the reason
yeah.
why I don't eat pork.
Yeah,
It freaks me out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, I love myself. Even bacon, though?
I
dude?
love bacon though.
Okay.
Damn it.
That's usually,
Fuck.
But yeah, that's usually the one like pork item that most people will at least eat because bacon kind of makes everything better. Dude. Take a scallop, wrap it in bacon. Whoa.
Literally anything.
Yeah. But so they implanted it in some pigs, and all they were able to show is that it's harmless. And that they could detect when the pig was having its nose touched. So like it would rub its snout onto like food, or it would be sniffing something. I like how I'm shoving my nose in the microphone at the same time.
It's very necessary.
Yeah, and and like it would bleep instantaneously. Like, hey, we can show that like we've attached this device to their brain, and it can recognize that there is a brain function specifically attached to the thing that we're looking for it to attach to. Which it sounds very preliminary, but their goal is just to restore, for right now, their initial goal is to restore functions to people who are like quadriplegic.
Quadriplegic?
Thank you. Terrible at that. If you ever listen to the show, you know I'm terrible at that. But so it seems like a really cool front, but you wonder, you know, the obvious question is like, where does it go? And those are like the big questions. And like, you know, Elon's talking about like, you know, like downloading memories and like
Dude.
storing stuff like that.
That's like altered carbon. Switching stacks. And
Yeah,
all that.
they just what do they call it in altered carbon?
Stacks, like right? It was a stacks. Like, sleeves.
Sleeves.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Sleeves, man. Whew. Yeah, the idea of being able to. The first time I'd ever heard about this was back in high school. About this idea.
Sleeve sounds so gross too. It's
know.
like referring to like a human body.
Yeah, I know it's disgusting. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because the sleeve. It sounds like a sock.
It reminds me of like I don't know why, like in like Men in Black, like the cockroach thing. How he like wears that guy. Have you seen? That?
Yeah. Where he wears the guy and he's all like stiff after a while.
Yeah,
Rick and Mortis.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. But I first heard the idea of like, if you could download your memories and import them into a new body, like, does that mean you're still you? You know, like what
existential stuff.
It's weird.
Yeah. How do you answer that? I don't
know.
know.
It's like, does that like, I guess it sort of brings up like, if you could do that, our idea of what makes we're getting such in a rabbit hole here.
Yeah, it's like ethics now.
Yeah, but like if like do you still have a soul? Even if you could like download all of your memories into a new clone of yourself, like it's just they clone your body. If this is all whatever, I'm sure that this probably will never be allowed. But if you could put the memories in the new brain, is there something missing?
Yeah.
Is there something that we forgot in that downloading process? I don't know. Getting a little deep here, guys. But
have you seen that movie Chappie?
Chappie.
That's the robot.
Like the robot thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of well, I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's like kind of like the ending of the movie, but but you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, it sort of relates. I mean, it actually
what's the Robin Williams one? Bionic Man, Century.
Oh yeah, I think it was something Century Man.
Oh,
Bicentennial
Man. Yeah,
Man.
There it is. Yeah, that got creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of those movies are really interesting. I feel like the one that's heading more towards reality from Black Mirror is the social credit system thing.
Yeah, I think that's actually a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing in China right now. They have more of like a social credit system, but it's based on like stars and stuff right now. I talked to this Chinese model who's like fresh from China. Well, I don't want to say fresh from China, but like been here for like 5 years. Mm-hmm. And then her sister like just came here, and they have this thing where like your license has a certain number of stars. And if you lose those stars for bad conduct, whether that's jaywalking or like you drive over the speed limit, and everything's just camera based. So it's not even like a police officer. It's just like, oh, they can just catch you speeding like that, right? You lose like a certain number of stars and then you can't drive or you can't use the subway or you can't purchase a home or like do like really basic things, which would be crazy to think about.
It's like Yelp in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Sucks.
Yeah, that does.
What are you gonna do?
Think about.
You know, like when you look at like stuff like your Uber rating, you're like, oh yeah, I used to have a 5.0 and I'm like a 4.92 because I slammed the door too hard, I guess. Like, stuff like that. Like, that's
I know.
It really actually, I guess that's kind of like the equivalent would be something like that, like an Uber rating.
Yeah,
because it affects your ability to get rides or even
Yeah. I wonder what my Uber rating is.
Dude, see, that's the thing. It's like, I feel like I've called Ubers for people. And so like, and I'm not even in the car. So I'm like, okay, well, my Uber rating is like something like 4.9 something or 4.8 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
they might have been too chatty or something.
Not fat.
Score.
Yeah.
Uber. I'm so curious now. I have to know.
Please
don't be a 3. It's like a 3.
Yeah, dude, imagine.
Like 3, you're probably getting shut down.
You can never rent an Uber XL.
How do you check? How do you check?
It says in your profile. Like
4.88. Can you look at your
8.8?
Can you?
Wow.
I'm rolling a 4.88.
Yeah. Oh God.
No. Sorry,
Anyway,
dude.
so it's been great having this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna see
I'm gonna
myself.
have to find another roommate. Well, where are you going? You're not taking an Uber because no one's gonna fucking pick you up.
4.97. I have dropped the point. It was 9.98 before.
Dude, so wait, how do you tell? Like, does someone leave? Is there like a place where you can look at your reviews?
No, they won't. No, because the Uber driver leaves anonymously. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just gives you an explanation as to why you're not getting Uber rides.
Oh,
Damn.
man.
It doesn't tell you.
Wow.
I want to flex on people now. What's your Uber rating?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, dude. 4.9 something.
Yeah.
Damn. See, already I want to get it back up again. I don't know why it's at 4.88. I guess I got to start riding more Ubers. Well, anyways, I feel like at this point we got into like existential crises and stuff.
This is definitely one of the like more different podcasts I've done.
Yeah, went all over the place. Well, when you said we're ready to go, I was like, all right, we're done. Was that your neck, dude?
No, it's a neck cracker. I literally carry it just to crack my neck.
What the fuck, dude?
Dude, that was so...
I usually wait on set when it's like super quiet, like hold for sound.
Wait a minute, is that you actually brought that with you?
Yeah.
Wait, hold, do it again.
Oh, so what you do is you palm it. I used to be a magician too, so you palm it.
Whoa,
yeah, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Great at family
so
gatherings,
funny.
like pick up the cat. Crack its neck.
You pick up the cat, dude.
Dude, I definitely want to get one of those and then fuck with somebody like that
dude.
because that's so funny.
Wait a minute. Okay, I know I was just about to end the podcast, but you were a magician too?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, so how long
How did this not come up?
Sweet things. Oh, look at that.
What the fuck, dude? It just keeps going. Why do you have that?
for moments like this.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
That's crazy. We've been going for like an hour and a half, and you're just like, have you just been holding that the whole time?
Bro, my pockets are so full right now, you can't even tell.
Yeah, dude, that's incredible. Wait a minute. Like,
that's so funny.
So, like, that was hysterical, man. Wait a minute. So you were a magician.
Yeah.
So when did you do that?
You just pulled out a donut for people who aren't watching this.
I guess we should probably explain that for people that are like just listening to audio.
From thin air.
I've always kind of been doing magic, man. I was the shy kid, so that's what got me into talking and getting out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Just doing magic stuff.
Doing magic.
So, like, is there, I hate to be like, oh, can you do something else? But, like, is there, like, something else that you got that you can?
Oh, yeah. That's for episode 2.
Okay.
Bring me back.
Cool. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, that was crazy that you had the
that's
neck
pretty
crack
cool.
thing because I was literally, like, concerned. I
Dude, I heard it through the headphones. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that was quite the crack. And the donut thing was just a whole other level. Okay, well, we'll end it there. Anyway, dude, thanks so much for coming on. It was an absolutely fantastic time. And before we kind of sign off officially, where people can find you,
that's right.
contact you if they want to, I don't know, follow you on Instagram, anything like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty active on Instagram. You can follow me at Action Anthony. Very easy, spelled like how it sounds. And that's about it.
Sweet.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, dude.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for listening to Bone Apple Tea. If you like the show, please give us a follow, like, comment, subscribe, whatever it is. Tell your friends about it. And, make sure to follow us on Instagram. That's Bone Apple TV, BoneAppleTeav on Instagram. Thanks so much.